Immigration Statistics, page 1.
1. During the 1990s, an average of more than 1 million immigrants, legal and illegal, settled in the U.S. each year.
2. Legal immigration fluctuates between 700,000 and 900,000 each year, and the USCIS estimates that 700,000 illegal immigrants settle here each year. Most illegal immigrants are from Mexico.
3. In 2008, a record 1,046,539 legal immigrants were naturalized as U.S. citizens.
4. The largest number of legal immigrants to come between 2001 and 2009 came from Mexico, China, the Philippines, and India.
5. The Census Bureau projects that by 2050, 1/4 of the population will be of Hispanic descent.
6. In California, home to over 4 million Asian Americans, 75% of all Californians are working for Asian-owned businesses or paying rent to an Asian landlord.
Open Adoption, page 3.
Why did you choose an open adoption?
This is a big question, but it boils down to this. Once we got over the fear that everyone seems to have at first, we recognized the benefits of openness. Without the secrecy involved in traditional, closed-type adoption, there will never be the questions of, why did my birth mom place me here? Or, I wonder whatever happened to my baby? Or, is my baby happy? Or, what kind of woman gave birth to this child? When there are answers instead of mysteries, it's better and healthier for everyone.
Aren't you worried that the birth mom will want her baby back?
One of the benefits of the agency we went with is the excellent counseling that was provided to both us and our children's birth moms. As a result of this counseling, we were all comfortable with our situations and decisions. Because of this comfort, there was less fear of a reclaim situation. Also, we knew that the agency we used followed the legal process and provided for a fairly secure relinquishment of birth parents' parental rights. This was the only way we would have considered doing our second adoption.
Are you going to maintain contact with your son's birth moms?
Yes, we have a very special relationship with our son's birth moms. We live fairly close to Will's birth mom and visit frequently. We have been to Will's half-sister's birthday party, and they came to Will's first birthday party. We often exchange email and cards. Our sons will always have their birth moms in their lives, as well as another set of grandparents. There's no such thing as too many grandmas and grandpas. Many people seem to think that having birth parents involved would be like co-parenting or maybe a step-parent relationship. This is not the case. We are the real and forever parents of our children. Sexual Orientation, Questions and Answers, page 6.
What is sexual orientation?
Sexual orientation is an emotional, romantic, or sexual attraction to another person. It includes heterosexuality, homosexuality, and various forms of bisexuality. Most scientists today agree that sexual orientation is most likely the result of a complex interaction of biological, cognitive, and environmental factors. In most people, sexual orientation is shaped at an early age.
Is sexual orientation a choice?
No. Human beings cannot choose to be either gay or straight. Mental health professionals do not consider sexual orientation to be a conscious choice. There is considerable evidence to suggest that biology, including genetic or inborn hormonal factors, plays a significant role in a person's sexuality.
Can therapy change sexual orientation?
No. Even though most homosexuals live successful, happy lives, some homosexual or bisexual people may seek to change their sexual orientation through therapy because they are often pressured by family members or religious groups to try and do so. The reality is that homosexuality is not an illness. It does not require treatment and is not changeable.
Is homosexuality a mental disorder or emotional problem?
No. Psychologists and other mental health professionals agree that it is not an illness, mental disorder, or emotional problem. This belief is based on 35 years of objective, well-designed research.
Why is it important for society to be better educated about homosexuality?
Educating all people about sexual orientation and homosexuality is likely to diminish anti-gay prejudice. Accurate information is especially important to young people who are first discovering and seeking to understand their sexuality, whether homosexual, bisexual, or heterosexual.
Is there any legislation against anti-gay violence?
Yes. Some states include violence against an individual on the basis of his or her sexual orientation as a hate crime. And 10 U.S. states have laws against discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation.
The Psychology of Shopping, page 9.
1. Market research has found that the color light purple makes customers feel like spending money.
2. Upon entering a store, most customers head straight ahead.
3. The only reason that people shop is that they need something.
4. Women have a greater affinity for shopping than men.
5. Express lines were introduced to reduce shopper frustration.
6. Online shopping is for the middle and upper classes because you must have a computer, a bank account, and a credit card.
7. Shoes are one of the things bought most online.
8. Men purchase or influence purchases of more than 80% of all purchases and services.
9. Studies show that most people are much less likely to buy or less willing to spend as much when paying with cash as opposed to a credit card.
10. When two women shop together, they often spend less time and money than when they shop alone. English pronunciation and spelling, page 11.
They are too close to the door to close it.
There was a row among the oarsmen about how to row.
I shed a tear about the tear in my new shirt.
A farmer can produce produce.
The dump was so full it had to refuse refuse.
The present is a good time to present the present.
The insurance for the invalid was invalid.
The bandage was wound around the wound.
The soldier decided to desert in the desert.
Fishing, page 12.
1. Don't reply to email or pop-up messages that ask for personal or financial information, and don't click on links in the message. Don't cut and paste a link from the message into your web browser, because phishers can make links that look as if they go to one site, but actually send you to a different site.
2. Some scammers send an email that appears to be from a legitimate business and ask you to call a phone number to update your account or access a refund. Don't call this number. If you need to reach an organization you do business with, call the number on your financial statements or on the back of your credit card.
3. Use antivirus software and anti-spyware, as well as a firewall, and update them regularly.
4. Review credit card and bank account statements as soon as you receive them to check for unauthorized charges.
5. Be careful about opening any attachment or downloading any files from emails you receive, regardless of who sent them.
6. Report phishing emails to spam@uce.gov or reportphishing@antifishing.org. Tax Quiz, page 14.
1. What percent of total income does an average American working couple pay in taxes every year? A. 38%, B. 25%, C. 12%, D. 59%.
2. The United States is the country with the highest taxes. True or false?
3. Where you live can affect the amount of tax you pay. True or false?
4. Which individual pays the most in income tax? A. Single and young, B. Married and middle-aged, C. Old.
5. From which group of people do most of the U.S. income taxes come? A. People with a salary below $25,000 a year. B. People with a salary between $25,000 and $50,000. C. people with a salary above $50,000.
6. People making the same income pay the same income tax. True or false?
7. The largest percentage of American tax dollars goes to A. National defense, B. Health and Medicare, C. Transportation.
8. Denmark is a country with very high income taxes, but it also enjoys low unemployment and steady economic growth. True or false? Trivia Contest. Page 16.
1. How many people are there in the world?
2. Where are most American cars manufactured in the United States?
3. How often are presidential elections held in the U.S.?
4. Who wrote The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn?
5. What does BLT mean?
6. Where can you buy a Whopper Jr.?
7. Who is the richest woman in the world?
8. In what year did Americans first land on the moon?
9. What is the most common first name in the world?
10. What is the best-selling ice cream flavor in the U.S.?
11. How long has your teacher taught in this program? A business that's going to the dogs. Page 18.
Richard, how did you get into the dog daycare business?
It all started when I agreed to take care of a neighbor's dog when she went on vacation for a week. She didn't want to put her dog in a kennel, and since I have 2 dogs of my own, I said sure. Then, when a friend had to take a business trip to Texas, he asked me to pet sit his dogs. Then, word got around, and more working people who worried about their dogs getting lonely during the day started calling me up. One thing led to another, and here I am.
So, how many dogs do you have in your dog daycare business now?
It varies. Some days we have 10 dogs, but we're licensed for 12.
Do all of the dogs come for daycare while their owners are at work?
No. Some come for overnights or for a week or 2 while the owners are on vacation. We have comfy beds and doggy couches.
That's cool. What kind of fees do you charge?
If the owner drops off his dog, we charge $28 a day. If they want round-trip pickup in our van, the charge is higher, about $35.
You provide transportation?
Yup. Drivers pick up the dogs beginning at 7:30 a.m. from their homes and drop them off at 5 p.m. Dogs love the ride.
Do you have any special entrance requirements?
Well, they have to be housebroken, of course. And they must have written proof of rabies and other inoculations. Once in a while, there's a dog that doesn't get along with other dogs, but most love being here with their buddies.
I can see that you love your job.
You've gotta love dogs to do this. And now that business is booming, I can hire more help. The Trials of Tipping, page 22.
Tipping says, "Thank you for good service," explains Judy Bowman, president of Protocol Consultants International, who specializes in training businesses and corporations in business and dining etiquette. According to Bowman, the standard going rate for tipping has gone up in the last year from 15% to 20%. If you leave a 10 or 15% tip, you're going to get raised eyebrows. The most important thing to remember about tipping is that you tip members of the service industry, people who rely on tips to make a living, not the management. Think about your waiter as the guy who sits next to you in economics class, and your tipping outlook may change. Major tipping situations that people run into on a regular basis include trips to the hair salon, restaurants, taxis, bars, and food delivery services. For each service, a basic tip is required, but it's up to you to decide how much to give. For someone who goes above and beyond the call of duty, you would give a tip closer to the 20% range. For example, when ordering a pizza, use the time as a gauge for tipping. If you're told the pizza will arrive in 20 minutes, but it comes in 15, you should tip higher. On the other hand, if the pizza is late or you've had a tough time dealing with the people in the home office, you are completely entitled to tip lower or not at all. If you are not going to tip, explain why. This way, the delivery guy will know what he's done wrong. The same rule of thumb should follow with taxi drivers, hairstylists, and waiters. But if you often go to the same hairstylist or restaurant, and the service is good, tip well. The staff will remember you.
Do you believe in ghosts? Page 24.
If you'd like to visit some places in the United States that have a reputation for being haunted, you can buy the book The National Directory of Haunted Places by Dennis Hauck, a well-known authority on paranormal phenomena. The book contains several thousand carefully researched places in countries around the world and mentions many spooky houses in the United States. The most famous ghost in the White House in Washington, D.C., one that has been seen by presidents and their families on many occasions, is Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president, who was assassinated in 1865. Lincoln had many tragedies in his personal life, one of which was the death of his son, Willie, at age 11. Lincoln believed in the afterlife and tried several times to contact his son through seances in the White House. Lincoln also had premonitions of his own death and once told his secretary that he knew he was going to die in office and that he could envision his casket in the rotunda room of the White House.
Love Votes, page 26.
1. You've accepted a date when someone you really like calls you up and asks you out for the same night. You try to get out of the first date.
2. You find out that your spouse is infertile. You really want children of your own and cannot accept adoption. You leave your spouse.
3. Your favorite sister is engaged to marry a man who, in your opinion, is bad news. She is in love. You try to talk her out of it.
4. You have a serious long-distance romance in your country. To relieve loneliness, you start a romantic friendship locally. You bring up your commitment to the local person.
5. Your teenage daughter is dating a man of another race. You try to get them to break off their relationship.
6. In order to marry someone you love, you must give up your religion and change to theirs. You do it.
7. You give your mate a gift worth $200. Then you break up a month later. You ask for it back.
8. You've been going out with a person who loves you much more than you love them. You've been upfront about your feelings, but your mate doesn't care. You end the relationship now in order to spare them a greater hurt later.